Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Bunny Brook Designs. I'm Cindy, and so today we're going to be continuing to work on the Seriously Sassy curated bead box. And I've got a design here. I'm really not sure if I'm going to do it exactly this way, but I wanted to use up these really big, beautiful oval beads. And I got an idea of putting the silver spacers with the purple pearls in between and doing sections of color. Now, I may want to do, something to delineate these sections, maybe put a spacer in there, something to separate them. I haven't decided yet, but we're going to go ahead and get started and start stringing up these beads. And then I have an idea to use up some of these spacer beads that came with it to do a memory wire bracelet, and we may do that as a bonus together. I may pause the video, do a bit of a design, and then kind of walk you through my design. But anyways, let's get started stringing up. I'm going to start in the center with just these beads because I do know I want to do it this way. I'm not sure about the remainder of the design. I do like the coloring together. I like the purple and the turquoise. I just don't know if I want to do 5 beads, 4 beads, 3 beads. It may depend on how long the necklace is getting. I may cut those down a little bit. And these beads, I don't know why, they just do not want to go in. The smaller spacer beads, they seem to be a pain in getting a hold of them in this beading tray. Oh, and I'm dropping stuff. So I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. You help out my channel that way. And welcome back to all my existing subscribers. Oh, and see, I did that backwards. Good thing I'm doing this slowly. Oh, see, I almost did it again. It's really hard to judge. Ooh, I'm hitting things. It's really hard to judge, as you can see, spacing, because when you're putting it on the bead tray, things get kind of crammed together. And I have done before where I've strung up things and then laid them in the tray to get sizing, but I figured I could show you, the easy way that I do it. Because again, it's art at the end of the day. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. If you want to pre-string and then unstring. But I spend probably 20-30 minutes prior to ever turning on the camera or stringing, or even when I'm not on camera stringing. I'll spend 20 or 30 minutes prior to that figuring out my design and seeing if I even like the idea before, because I don't want to take the time to and I still at times will do it on the string and then go, nope, don't like it, as you've seen in other videos. But I really like this idea of doing blocks. I saw somebody had done it with one of the other bead boxes that I subscribe to, and there I go, talking without paying attention again. They had done blocks of beads, and I thought the design that they had come up with was just incredible. And I thought, you know what? I couldn't figure out what I really wanted to do with the remainder of the beads that I had from this bead box. And so that gave me an idea. This isn't exactly like what they had done, but it's similar. And a lot of times I will get ideas. Okay, there is one there. All right, so that is the beginning of the design. I like that. It looks kind of weird to me because those pearls aren't exactly even, but that's fine. It'll hang nicely. Now, I'm going to string up a few on either side. I'm going to do, I think, 3 of these purple beads and 4 of the, just to see what it looks like so far. I may end up using it all. I may want to put some spacers in there. I don't know. I do like the purple and the turquoise right next to each other. All right, so we've done that side. I am going to take a wire guard, put that on, and do this side. And again, you need to be mindful of your design. How long do you want the necklace? How heavy do you want the necklace to be? Because these are glass beads, so the more beads you put on there, the heavier the necklace gets. Which is why for some of my heavier designs, I will end the back part of it with seed beads because they're lighter weight and it'll take some of the weight off. All right, I do like that. And that's very short, so we will definitely be doing the longer. All right. So I am going to finish stringing on these beads. And then I'm going to see what I want to do for a spacer. So we have this on. Now, I'd like to have a spacer. I don't think I want to use the cone-shaped, but maybe a star shape divider. See, I don't like that. Let's try one of these and see what that looks like. And I don't like that either. So what we may do is I have some round spacer beads here that I was using, or seed beads from another project that I was working on off camera. I'm going to try that and see what that looks like. And now that makes me wonder if I want to put silver beads. No, I don't want to do that. All right, I'm going to dig out my spacer beads and see what we've got for beads and see. So I have like this box of random spacer beads. And I don't know if I want round. I do have that, which those might look fun. These are kind of cylindrical spacer beads. Let's try one of those. Now see, I like that. The cylindrical spacer bead in between the blue, which will, oh, and I'm throwing beads at myself. Separate the sections. What I may end up doing, because that just gave me another idea, is to put a secondary spacer bead between the yellow sections. and do it this way instead of just a single blue that's here, and do that. I like that. I do. I like that. And see, so that's what I mean. Like, I will change my mind like 8,000 times before I get a final. All right, I am going to put this up, even though I haven't done the other side yet, because I want to just make sure it's not getting too long. All right, I'm going to finish the other side, and then I'm going to measure it, and we will see. I think I want to end with another silver spacer bead. I think that will look good. The key, though, is with the spacer beads, make sure the holes aren't too big because you'll lose your crimp bead down the hole, and that can be a problem when you're trying to crimp. I don't know how many times I've had that issue where I go to crimp something and my crimp bead is down inside of a bead. Oh, see, and I forgot my blue bead. There we go. Although this is giving me an idea for the memory wire bracelet that I was thinking about doing with the remainder of these beads, because I wanted to do a 5-strand memory wire. So I may do that here as a bonus in this video if it doesn't get too long. I really like that. I think that's pretty. It's graduated. It's definitely going to be long enough. Especially if I put a extender chain on it. So we are going to go ahead and crimp. I am going to take, I need a jump ring. So I spilled earlier, I spilled a bunch of stuff. So in this bag I have some head pins and some jump rings and some lobster claws, because I was making some jewelry for a show that's coming up in 2 weeks called Bun Fest here in Ohio, and it's called Midwest Bun Fest. So if you're in Ohio or you're in surrounding areas and you love bunnies and you're interested in going, it's called Midwest Bun Fest. They have a website, midwestbunfest.org. I will link their website in the description of this video. I will be attending that on October 7th. I'm going to be one of the outdoor vendors. So if you're there, come stop in and see me. I don't necessarily have all of the jewelry that you've seen on these videos. I will have some, probably not a ton of them out for display because I have all of my bunny related items out there. But if you happen to go and you want to stop in and say hi, I'd love to hear from you and answer any questions for you that you have. And it would be great to see some of my subscribers if you're in the area. It's a fun show. I do it every year. People bring their bunnies. People dress up like bunnies. A lot of the area vets come and give talks about animal welfare. The rescue groups are there. Sometimes they have bunnies that are adoptable for people to adopt. It's a fun time. All right, so we're going to get this other side strung up and crimped. And so what I'm doing before I put the jump ring on is I'm just making sure, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's not completely flat. And so all I'm doing is just crimping it, like pinching it so that it's flat and even, so that there's no space, so that the wire isn't going to come through it. Because that's going to be your jump ring. If you have issues, that's going to be your point of failure. The other option you could do also is to do 2 jump rings. I've done that on some of the heavier necklaces, where I will crimp 2 jump rings into the tiger tail or the bead-along wire. And I call it tiger tail because back, oh God, I think it was late 90s. Early 90s was what they used to call it back then, was tiger tail. I don't know why they called it that, but that was what it was called. All right, we've got it nice and tight. That's a little bit, there's a little bit of space. That's better. I want a little movement, but I don't want so much space that like I could put another bead. See, like that, there's enough space for another bead there. So I need to figure out which one of these sides is my, there we go. And there, much better. Give that a good crimp. And just make sure my crimp is completely flat there. And then I'm just going to cut this end off. And then open up my jump ring, add my lobster claw, and close it up. And there we go. Quick and pretty necklace. I'm going to set this beadboard aside so we can take a look at it on some neutral space. I really like this. I think this is fun. It's festive. It's bright and cheery. So what do you think? Let me know in the description. And I'm going to pause you, and then we are going to do a memory wire bracelet with the remainder of this. I'm going to get set up, and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I need to measure my memory wire. So I have some memory wire here that I need to be able to know how long it is to go around at one time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just mark it with, and sorry about bumping the camera, I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie, and then I'm going to measure it with a measuring tape. So now nobody's going to see that Sharpie mark. It's fine. I just want to see how long it is for a single for a single round. So it is, and it's a pain to do this, but if you can get it to stretch a little bit, or you hold it like I'm doing and just slide it, it is about 7.5 inches. So I have these rods here from a thing that I purchased. And what we can do, and I started playing with the design a little bit off camera. What we can do is then measure a spot on the rod. So make a starting point. And again, with a Sharpie, there's a little starting point. And I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little black mark right there. And we're just going to measure 7.5 inches from point to point. Because what I'd like to do is have a design in the center on the back of the wrist. And make sure that I have everything I need. So I'm going to set this here so you can see. And then I'm going to mark it. It was a little shorter than 7.5. So I'm going to mark it right where my thumb is, and then take this measuring tape, set it aside. I am not right-handed, so I'm trying to get it so I don't do my finger, but I'm going to get my finger anyway, I'm sure. All right, so I marked it very gently. So there's my rough points. So what I can do is, if I don't lose my cap to my marker, is I can take an earring. So what these are, they're just earring backs. And I can put my earring back at the point there. And I can start stringing up. Now I'm going to string from the center just because, again, I don't know what I want my design to look like. And so I'm going to start stringing. I know I want these at least 5, 3, 4, and 5. And then I was thinking the light yellows, and doing 3. And because this is memory wire, we're going to do a design, and then we're going to do another design on this side, another design on this side, and then we'll probably fill in with some of these seed beads on the 4th and 5th spot. I'm going to put 2 of these turquoise next to the yellow. And then I'm going to take another earring back, and I'm just going to put it on this side of the wire here to where my line is. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a design that is going to be centered, but it's going to go all the way around so that the next row that I do on a wire will end up the same. It'll end up in the same spot on the back of the wrist. I'm trying to make it symmetrical. So now we've got this, which will make a very nice bracelet. And I need to fill in still with some things. So I'm going to add another blue. And then maybe a purple. What I'm thinking now is maybe fill in, because it's going to be on the back side of the wrist, with purple pearls and a few seed beads, purple pearl and a few seed beads, just to fill in with some random beads. And I don't know if I want to do that and then purple, or if I want to do 3 blues. And then a purple. Not sure I like those. I'm just not sure I like those purple beads. So I may, for this one, try the blue and purple and do 3 blues and 4 purples. And then we will put the end on, because what I need to be mindful of is, as you can see, I'm not going to have enough space on this side to finish that pattern. So what I will do is I will see what I'm going to need to take off. So I'm probably going to need to take off at least 2, if not, well, I'm going to need to take off 1 at least of the purple and blue on the other side. So I'm going to do this and get the purple, the blue, and a purple. And so this is what I mean by when you're designing for a memory wire bracelet, you're going to have to go from side to side, because I want it, the main focal part, to be definitely in the center. All right. So now I'm going to take this off here and I'm going to slide off right there. I'm going to push this on there. So I have space for maybe another blue on each side. And so again, I'm going to put my, a blue on each side. And then put my earring back on. All right, so there's one. Now we need to design a second one. So I'm going to grab another wire, and I have an earring back on this wire as well. Different one than what was there. And now let's see what we want to do. I do want something that's going to go and fit in between these beads. So what I may do is do a yellow pearl and then a purple, so that it'll fit in between like that, and it'll form a almost like a triangle. And a yellow pearl. So here's what I'm going for on this. Because I think that would fit in there nicely. And again, I could do some silver, but I want to use, I'm trying to use all of the beads together so that I can use up all of what's left in my tray, or most of what's left in my tray, and only have minimal left. So that's looking good. Now I'm gonna add one more on either end, and right now I don't have anything on either end, so if I were to dump this or tip it too far, everything would slide off, because I am designing as I go. So again, as you can see, I don't have it evenly spaced quite yet. So that is what I want it to look like. And as you can see, the 2 center ones are fine. However, as I'm getting further out, these beads are too far apart. So I may have to rethink doing that and put on a silver bead there. And then that works because that's going to line up perfectly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do silver in between, and then we will use those dark yellow here in a minute. And so I've got, all right, so that makes that. So that's perfect. And then now that we are done with my center, I'm going to throw on a dark yellow on either side to go there. And then I am going to put on a light yellow. And so whatever I do here, I'm going to need to do on the one over here. So you need to make sure that you have enough beads to do it, because I want to make a mirror image here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in with that, and then I'm probably going to put yellow, yellow, blue. I think for this one, we're going to do 3 yellows like this, and then do another yellow. And then go with turquoise. Nope. I just got a better idea. We're going to do yellow here. And again, we're designing. A light yellow. And then, do I like that? I want more, I just want more blue in there. Now see, I like that. That looks good. All right, so 3 turquoise. And I am going to start sticking on something so that I can flip it and string a little bit easier than when I'm having to watch out for the end sliding. All right, so there we have it. Now I'm going to do purple. Because I like the purples, I may do two, 3 purple. Okay, and we're going to put this on. And we're going to come over here and do our 3 purples on this side. And the other thing to remember is, while I challenge myself to use beads like these blue seed beads, I don't really care for them because they're not uniform, and As you can see, some of them are just misshapen or just not usable. I can use those for embroidery or when I'm making boho bracelets, which I'm going to do a video for that here, probably after Bunfest. But you don't have to use everything. I mean, keep that in mind when you're designing. You don't have to use everything that comes in your kits. If you don't like something, I mean, if you really don't like something, don't use it because you're going to end up hating your design. I think that is going to be perfect. I'm going to put this back on, flip it over to a blue and 2 purples. And that should be the right length. And again, if it's slightly shorter or slightly longer, that's fine. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that your centers line up. So now I'm going to do the other side real quick. Now that I know what my design is, I don't need to stagger between the sides. I can just line up from start to finish. And then we will need to do the last 2 for the memory wire bracelet, which may just be alternating. I may just alternate beads, and I'll have to grab either a another wire or just use some leftovers from, because I only have 3 of these. All right. And I still haven't used these star beads, but I may use those on the 2 other outer ends because I will need some spacing. Because again, I'm slowly running out of beads. Okay, I need some more. Oops. I had to clip my nails. I broke some nails working outdoors this weekend. So now I have no nails to pick up beads with. It's truly sad. Not that my hands are great anyways, because I do a lot of gardening. I have a vegetable garden, fruits, trees. I have a very small yard too, but I managed to produce enough vegetables that I give them to neighbors on both sides of me, and I find that my 95-year-old neighbors 2 doors down are very appreciative of the fresh fruits and vegetables that I give them, which is kind of fun. I like talking to them, hearing their stories from when they were younger. It gives you a different perspective on things. All right, now we have got that, and I need another ear thing. So I'm just going to grab, again, I just grab All right, so there we have that so far. Now we just need something on either side. So I'm going to end up using a piece of beadalon because I don't, like I said, I don't have, and we are going to come up with a design here. And I think I'm going to use yellow and maybe do that on either side. So let's just see what that looks like. Ooh, as I throw beads on the floor. We'll pick that one up in a minute. It's a good thing bunnies don't eat seed beads or beads. And then do that. Yeah, I like that because that's going to give me the silver. It's going to use up some of those beads. So let's see what we can do here. So that will look like that. That's going to be too wide. So maybe what we need to do is I have an idea for at least for these center. I think I have enough of these purple ones that I can do that. Because again, I'm only going to be doing 3, maybe 4 yellows before we start the final design. And see, that will work better. That'll work better. Oh, would help if I put it on the right way. Okay, so that will set nicely in there. And I'm going to put a purple on either side. I'll get the other side in a minute. And then I think what we'll do is we'll start stringing blue, blue, spacer, yellow, spacer, blue, and blue. Now again, you're going to make sure you're going to have enough beads to do the other side. So I have 4 so far. I'm taking out 4. Let's do the other side. And then we're going to go purple, blue, blue, spacer, yellow, spacer, and then blue and turquoise blue. All right, so now we have that design. That looks good. That's working. I think I'm going to throw a silver spacer to kind of incorporate these beads in here on either side, which will put me in front of the yellow. Then I'm going to do a purple on either side. And that will get me to the yellow pearls. I'm going to do a yellow pearl on either side, and then a blue a turquoise, and do I want spacers in there? A purple. Oh, wait, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 purples. So I've got 1, 2, 2. Oh, no, I need that. Got it. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. So I am technically out of purple beads, so I will have to do, let's do silver spacers. I just wanted something to break that up. Yellow, blue, turquoise, spacer. And then that gives me roughly, I just need a couple of small beads. So let's do a blue on either side. That should be good. Yes, a little short. It's a little short. So what I can do is put a little seed bead spacer here. I don't know if I want to use that, because I only have, what, 1, 2, oh, I have 4 of those. We'll use these little ball spacers to fill in on either side. Now the trick is, because I have this designed out like this, I don't need to create this second I don't need to create the second one of these, because it's going to be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my memory wire now, and I'm going to find my round nose pliers, and we're going to make a loop on the end. And so all I'm going to do is just grab it with my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to bend it around the pliers with my fingers, adjusting as necessary to form a loop. And you really need to hold on tight, because this memory wire does not want to bend. That's why they call it memory wire. It's hard. And I have a hole there. So what I'm going to do is take my flat nose and just kind of pinch it down until there's no space whatsoever. I don't want that to get snagged on anything. So continue. You're going to have to fiddle with it for a little bit until it's perfectly bent. And flattened. And so, sorry if I'm off camera. I'm just trying to get this so it's as smooth as possible. Now, it's not going to be perfect. It's just to stop the beads. And we are going to start stringing, if I can untangle the wire here. It's springy, so it will tangle easy until there's beads on it. As you can see there, it's caught. So we just need to, there we go. All right, so I am going to start by stringing this string, but the one that I haven't done yet. So it's going to be a spacer, blue, and I'm just going to put this on, and I will probably fast forward through this, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking while I'm stringing. That way you can see, you can kind of see the end result, and this video doesn't get super, super long. I've gotten everything on from my design, and I have some wire left, and that's fine. I just kind of want to show you, this is the back side, so you've got all of your smaller beads, and then there is your front where everything's going to line up once we finish this off and do our end. Now you're going to want to take about maybe a little over a half inch, maybe about a half inch. Now I'm going to warn you, if you're using memory wire, do not use your regular cutters and do not use your little flush cutters. You will destroy them. Use memory wire cutters. They're specifically made for memory wire. Now I'm just going to take and I'm going to cut a little piece off and take my round nose, and I may need to shorten that up a little bit. I think I'm going to shorten it just because I don't need a loop that big. So maybe a little less than a half inch. And we are just going to curl until it's tight up against that last seed bead, or that last bead. And your loop is completely closed, like that. Now your bracelet's for the most part done, and I'm going to put it on and kind of show you what it will look like on. And so this is what it's going to look like once it's all on and adjusted. So I've got my purple pattern in the center, my blue on the back side, but while this is beautiful and fun, I want a few little dangles on the edge here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take some ball pins. I have a couple here. And I am going to do a cute little design with just a couple of beads. I think blue. And I did manage to save 2 pearls, so I can do a blue, a pearl, and a big yellow. Or let's do blue, yellow, and then pearl. That's cute. All right, and then we're going to make a loop. And I don't know if I showed you this in a previous video. I don't remember if I did or not. But here's how to make a quick and easy loop. So take your wire, bend it almost 90 degrees. Don't worry that pearl's bent a little bit. Put your round nose pliers in till it's touching the bead where you think you want your loop size, and then just bend it. Now it's going to form a little hook, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your wire cutters, put them in, and then just crimp just where it starts to become straight. So it should look it should look like that. Get it up to the camera if you can see that. Here. There you go. It should look like that. Now we're going to take the round nose pliers and just keep curling and keep curling. And now it's going to bend a little bit, but just keep curling. Until you form a perfect loop. And before I finish that loop, I am going to take this and I'm going to hook it onto the loop of one of my ends, and then I'm going to close it up. And then make sure it is nice and tight so it's not going to fall off. Which is easier said than done on memory wire. All right, and so there is a dangle on that side. Now I'm going to make a different dangle for the other side. So we're going to take our ball pin. And so this one has the light yellow. I think for this one, we're going to do a pearl and the last purple bead. Or do we want to do the last purple bead and then the yellow pearl? I think I like that better. And again, we're going to bend almost 90 degrees, wrap, as I throw things at the camera. Cut. And I know my regular subscribers are wondering what I did with my looping pliers. They stopped cutting and started bending the wire on a more regular basis. So I kind of gave up on them and started going back to making my loops manually, which, I mean, it wasn't hard. I was doing it before. I just got lazy because somebody was like, oh, look at this new gadget, and I had to try it, and it was just so much easier that I was like, okay, we're going with that. But then it stopped cutting after, oh God, years of use. I think I've had it for a year and a half. All right. And there we go. Memory wire bangle bracelet. And I still have plenty of beads left that I could probably make another bracelet or a bunch of earrings. I probably will do that. But now you have a fun bangle bracelet that has, and you know, it's going to need some adjusting, but now I've got little dangles. And this would be great if you did something at Christmas time, especially on these dangles with jingle bells. I can just imagine myself shaking my wrist like this and having jingle, jingle, jingle. And again, you know, you got to adjust it, but there you go. So what do you think of that? Seriously Sassy memory wire bracelet, and we did Seriously Sassy necklace. And I don't know where I put the necklace, but oh, that's right, out of the way. So we made 2 projects this video. Let's take this, set this aside, and take a look. So that's what we made today. Let me know what you think in the description or the comments, and I will post a link in the description for Midwest Bun Fest and Curated Bead Box. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.